Hey guys, my name is Sanjay. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'll be giving you as a quick introduction on all the different types of loops available in JavaScript. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. Before we do get started, I want you guys to subscribe to my channel right now. We are so close to 150 subscribers. I hope we hit 150 subscribers before this video goes live. So I hope that happens. I want all of you guys to subscribe. If all of you guys do, then we can reach that milestone. And also I want you guys to like this video. If you guys do like it, let's aim for at least 10 likes in this video. Might not be a high milestone, but yeah, that's it. So I've got just a blank script.js and just an index.html with like a normal boilerplate and no CSS, just normal JavaScript. So the first type of loop we are going to be going through is called the while loop. So if you're new to programming, if you're not used to any languages, while loop just runs until a condition is returned true or false. So how does this work? So let's put this into code and see how it works. So I'll say while loop. So guys, do not worry, I'll leave all the link to the code in the description down below. So in case you want to use any of these loops, you guys can check that link and you guys can use it. So how the while loop works? So as the name says, you put while, so you put brackets. So inside the brackets you put the condition. So the while loop runs until the condition is returned false. So you should take that into mind where I said until it's returned false. If it doesn't return any false or even true, any boolean, if it does not return a condition, it just keeps on running. So that's one thing you should get into your mind. So in the while loop, inside this we should put the expression condition, which is going to be, say, I is less than 5. I is less than 5. You guys might have noticed I is not defined. So we want to define it to 0. And then you put a brackets and open it up. So inside this brackets you can put all of your code which will run until I is less than 5. So when it comes to while loops, you always want to put your incrementing value to one value minus that. So say you're putting from 1 to 5, you want to make that incrementing value to 0, because until it's less than 5 it will run, so only 5 times. So 1 to 5 will be that amount. So you want to always see that value is minus 1. So inside that, if you want to increment I by 1 every time the loop runs, and then you can just console.log I. So as you guys can see, I have console.log 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So as I explained, if var I equals 1, as you guys can see, 2, 3, 4 and 5, it only goes 5 times. So if you put 1 there, it only will go 4 times, and it will not pick up 1 because we are not specifying it for I to be greater than 5 or less than 5. If you guys don't understand it, it's kind of very simple, guys. Like, put the incrementing value, put to minus 1. So that's it. Really simple, don't complicate it that much. So I'll comment that out. That's while loop. It's very basic. So you can use this in scenarios like using it in array, objects, and looping through. I don't think you might use it in API requests, but might be useful. So the second one we'll be using is do while loops. These are kind of not that fair, like used in programming, but if this is what you want to do, then you can go for it. So you want to do, as the loop says, the second one, you want to do something until a condition happens. So you want to do something. So here we don't want to comment the variable out because we are going to be using this throughout the program. So we want to do something until the condition happens. So you guys might have a question like, what is the condition, right? So how do we get the condition? Is right after the brackets you put a while and you say until I is less than 5. So that's exactly how it works. So inside the do, you want to increment I by 1 every time the loop is run. Then you want to console.log I. So if, as you guys can see, this is like kind of same, like similar to the while loop, but the exact difference in do is, so the difference in do while loops is that in a while loop, the while loop runs until a condition is returned true or false. The loop actually runs only once. So as you guys can see, do, and the bracket just ends there. It does not continue. The while does not come inside the do loop. So what happens is this loop actually works, and then it comes over here, it checks the condition, then it goes back from first. So it does not iterate like the while loop. So as you guys can see, it's loading. It's because we did not do this like from scratch. We are using the live server. So I'll open this up with live server once more, so it will work that way. So if I open up my console here, you guys can see it's 2, 3, 4 and 5, but as I told you, obviously I didn't say it, but the loops are kind of different in all the type of loops that you guys might be doing. So in a do loop, you wherever the loop condition comes at the bottom, you always want to see that the incrementing value is 0. So where it comes on top, where something like while, you also want to make it 0 or 1. Hope that made sense. So I'm going to comment this out. So the third type of loop we're going to be looking at is a lot famous and most widely used loop. It's called for loop. It's used to iterate in any iterating objects such as arrays and all this kind of stuff. It's very useful. No problem with using a for loop. It's simple. So how the for loop works, it will work until the counter reaches a specific number of elements. So if we do just say for, you put the brackets. Actually, when it comes to for loop, it's the easiest, but it has 3 main components in it. So the first one, sorry guys, so let me get this back. So the first one is initialization. You want to initialize, just say init, so initialize the variable that you're going to be using in order to loop out the function. So the third one is a condition. You want to iterate the loop until it meets a specific condition. You don't want it to run like infinite amount of times. Third one that we will be looking into will be the incrementing. So we were doing the incrementing inside the loop until now from the do while and the while loop, but in the for loop you increment it inside an argument. So the third one is increment. So how do you go about doing this? So the first one, so we want to put var I, which is going to be the incrementing variable. So initialization, so initially set it to 0, then you put a semicolon. That's what you use to finish the first one, and then you put the condition. So I until I is less than 5, you put the semicolon again. The semicolon is a must, okay? So you increment it I plus plus, then you open up the bracket. So inside the for loop we have actually done the initialization, the condition and also the increment. So how do we go about using a for loop? So if I just, so easy, I just say console.log I, and it's going to bring all these values up. So we're going to make that 1 until I is less than equals to 5, because we want it to go until it's also equals to 5. So you guys might kind of think that all the loops perform the same thing. Why do we need like separate loops? But for loop, the most use case scenario is going to be looping through an array or an JSON file. So how do we do it? So let's just say I'll make a variable of arrays and I'll just have random words in that. I'll just have me, you, just a random name guys, random stuff. And then how do we use the array? So inside the condition you want to say, instead of the number, the condition value, you want to make, say, arrays dot length. So the way it works is the array length is 3. So until I is less than or equals to 3, it will loop over. So how do we get each and every value in the array, right? So you put arrays and then you put the like the brackets and then you put I, then you can get all of them. So as you guys might see, you also are getting undefined, because in programming how the loops work is the first element is going to be 0, so it's not 1, so it's going to be 0. So if it's 1, it's 1, 2 and 3. So right, just like that it's going to work. We also don't want it to be equal, because when it's 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, the fourth element is not there, so it's undefined. So there goes our third loop. So the fourth kind of loop is called a for in loop. So what does this mean? A for in loop is just to check for iterate through properties in an array, so in an object, sorry. So I'll just put var object and I'll actually create an object. I'll say name will be equal to me, and I'll say age, I'll say my age, then I'll say car equals SUV. So when it comes to a for in loop, the way you use it is just put a for, and they put brackets, then you put var any name. So these are properties, so I'll just say var properties in object. You want to console.log the property which is going to be the name, age and car, and the value of the property which is going to be me, my age and SUV. So how do you do that? I'll say prop and increment that with a semicolon. Sorry guys, the dogs are shouting like shit. I don't know. Then you increment that with object and you get the property inside the object. So just like that, name is equals to me, age is equals to my age, car is SUV. So that's how it works, guys. For in loop is kind of different. It's ES5, I guess. So we also have new loop that was introduced in ES6, which will be going on as the last one. So you can go about doing a lot of ways. You can actually access, most importantly, JSON data, guys. So var prop in object, you guys can get a lot of JSON data. Also, I made a video on APIs. If you guys want it, I'll leave a link to it in the description. So var prop in object is not that complicated. There's nothing much to go on about that. So the main thing is the condition. The condition is that you want to make sure that the property in the object is selected. So each and every property should be selected in the object, and then you're gonna console.log or in this case just console.log it. As you guys can see, all the values are console.log. So I'll comment this out. And for the last kind of loop, this is a loop that was introduced in ES6, which is ECMAScript 6. So in 2018 or 19 or 17, 20, I'm not sure. So the for of loop actually does have a unique functionality than anything. Obviously it's ES6. So I'll close that up. So the for of loop actually iterates through any iteratable object. So obviously an object, an array, string, so you could get the length of the string and get each value in that string. So how do you do that? Put that in perspective. So let's first loop into an array. So I'll make a var array. So you put var array equals and you put the brackets, and I'll say my name, your name, and I'll give another property which is going to be your age. So the way we get it through the for of loop is, guys, just as the for in loop, it's got a lot of things that do kind of match with the for in loop. So you put var prop, you could use the same name. So var prop in array, you want to console.log each property. So as you guys do see, 0, 1 and 2, but that's not exactly what do we want. So we'll say array prop. So as you guys can see, we could get my name, your name and age. You could also use to get each letter of a string. So I'll just say var array equals I'll just give my name, and then I'll put array. As you guys can see, it's giving it out 10 times, which I don't actually want. So I'll put array, then I'll put the brackets, then I'll put prop. So as you guys can see, it's console.logging each and every letter out of my word. You guys just might have guessed that all these things are so simple, but also at the same time a little bit complicated. They get different arguments inside them. So the for in loop is what you guys have to kind of go through a little bit, because it's year 6, whether you're getting a job or doing a project, that's highly essential. So I highly recommend you guys do use for off loop. Sorry, it's supposed to be for off. Okay, so it's supposed to be for off. So you just put prop in there. It's gonna give out all the letters, and then you could also go about doing this in arrays, as I told, objects. It's gonna be the same thing, guys. So I just wanted to show you guys all of the loops, help you guys out. Hope you guys found some value. If you guys did, make sure to subscribe to my channel, click on that red button down below, and also click on the notification bell. Also click on the like button, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video. Also leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions. I'll reply to all of you guys. Also follow me on Instagram if you guys did. Yes.
I can't